Hello, my name is Alisa. I live in England, Brighton, which is a city near London, next to the sea. I go to year 7 in Cardinal Newman School. Надеюсь, вы меня поняли. Я сказала: привет, меня зовут Алиса, я живу в Англии, в Брайтоне. Это город близко к Лондону, рядом с морем. Кстати, кто знает, как сказать море по-английски? Кто не знает, как сказать море по-английски?
My.
Что? Море по-английски. Тишина. Sea.
Мне послышалось мой.
Не, море. Да, sea. Я хожу в 7 класс в школе Гарри Поттера. На этом уроке мало правил, но они есть. Первое правило читаю я. К концу урока я, может быть, кому-нибудь другому там почитать, но в основном я. Второе правило: на этом уроке, если что-то хочешь сказать или спросить, то надо поднимать руку, иначе у нас будет ужасный шум. Ладно. Теперь давайте я поделюсь. Кто может... Кир, расскажешь, про что мы читали на прошлом уроке?
Ладно. Я помню, что там были баночки, бутылочки, и их надо было правильно...
В комнате, да?
Их надо было правильно выпить, вот, чтобы пройти сквозь огонь. Гермиона пошла назад, а Гарри, смельчак, пошел вперед.
И он пошел вперед, и он увидел... Сейчас
Видела.
мы это не читали.
Ой, забыла.
Кира.
Сори.
Ну вот. Сейчас поделюсь экраном. Так, что это такое? Вот. Видите мой экран?
Да, только очень мелко.
There was already someone there, but it wasn't Snape. It wasn't even Voldemort. Вот на этом моменте мы остановились в прошлый раз.
Очень мелко.
Да? It was Quirrell. You, gasped Harry. Quirrell smiled. His face wasn't twitching at all. Me, he said calmly. I wondered whether I'll be meeting you here, Potter. But I thought, Snape? Severus. Quirrell laughed, and it wasn't his usual quivering tremble either, but cold and sharp. Yes, Severus does seem the type, doesn't he? So useful to have him swooping around like an overgrown bat next to him. Who would suspect poor, stuttering Professor Quirrell? Harry couldn't take it in. This couldn't be true. It couldn't. But Snape tried to kill me. No. I tried to kill you. Your friend, Miss Granger, accidentally knocked me over as she rushed to step by to Snape at that Quidditch match. She broke my eye contact with you. Another few seconds and I have got you off that broom. I'd have managed it before then if Snape wouldn't be muttering a counter curse trying to save you. То есть тут Гарри вдруг понял, что это Quirrell. Quirrell сам неподозрительный, такой всегда в уголке. И он оказался злодеем. А Гарри подозревал Снейпа. И он такой: но Снейп пытался меня убить. Нет, говорит Quirrell, это я тебя пытался убить. Снейп тебя пытался защитить. Snape was trying to save me. Of course, said Quirrell coolly. Why do you think he wanted to referee your next match? He was trying to make sure I didn't do it again. Funny, really. He needn't have bothered. I couldn't do anything with Dumbledore watching. All the other teachers thought Snape was trying to stop Gryffindor winning. He did make himself unpopular. And what a waste of time, when after all that, I'm going to kill you tonight. Значит, он говорит: ой, Снейп пытался тебя защитить, но и поэтому он на матче был. Мог бы и не делать, все просто его все учителя теперь возненавидели. А я убью тебя сегодня. Ладно, сейчас я определюсь. Мы только что читали это, поэтому... Вот. Вы видите мой экран?
Мелкий.
А всем остальным тоже кажется мелким?
Ну, мелковато, да. Если можно увеличить как-то страничку.
Ой, я увеличила.
Ребята на своих устройствах могут, если они не за компьютером, конечно.
Да. Quirrell snapped his fingers. Both sprang up out of the air and wrapped themselves up tightly around Harry. You're too noisy to live, Potter. Scurrying around the school at Halloween like that. For all I knew, you'd seen me coming to look at what was guarding the stone. You led the troll in? Certainly. I have a specific gift with trolls. You must have seen what I did to the one in the chamber back there. Unfortunately, wherever everyone else was running around looking for it, Snape, who had already suspected me, went straight to the third floor to head me off. But not only did my trolls fail to beat you to death, the three-headed dog didn't even manage to bite Snape's leg off properly. Now wait quietly, Potter. I need to examine that interesting mirror. It was only then that Harry realised that he was standing behind Quirrell. It was the mirror of Erised. This mirror is the key to finding the stone, Quirrell murmured, trapping his way around the frame. Trust Dumbledore to come up with something like this, but he's in London. I'll be far away by the time he gets back. То есть тут Quirrell говорит, что в Хэллоуин, когда тролль появился, это он не выпустил. И что почти все, что было не так, это на самом деле его вина. И что он пытается теперь забраться в волшебное зеркало, и тогда он сможет, и когда Дамблдор вернется, он уже будет далеко. All Harry could think of doing was to keep Quirrell talking and stop him concentrating on the mirror. I saw you and Snape in the forest, he blurted out. Yes, said Quirrell idly, walking around the mirror and looking at the back. He was onto me by that time, trying to find out how far I'd got. He suspected me all along, tried to frighten me, as though he could, when I had Lord Voldemort on my side. Quirrell came back out from behind the mirror and stared hungrily into it. I see the stone. I am presenting it to my master. But where is it? Harry struggled against the ropes binding him, but they didn't move. He had to keep Quirrell from giving his whole attention to the mirror. But Snape always seems to hate me so much. Oh, he does, said Quirrell casually. Heavens, yes. He was at Hogwarts with your father, didn't you know? They loathed each other, but he never wanted you dead. I heard a few days ago, sobbing. I thought Snape had threatened you. For the first time, a spasm of fear flitted across Quirrell's face. Sometimes, he said, I find it hard to follow my master's instructions. He is a great wizard, and I am weak. То есть он говорит, как он там обманывал всех, как Снейп знал, но Quirrell его как-то обманывал, но не получалось. И еще он пытается понять, как ему получить камень. Он видит в зеркале, как он не может понять, как его получить. И Гарри пытается отвлечь Quirrell от зеркала, поэтому он постоянно спрашивает его вопросы. И один из вопросов был: но Снейп же меня ненавидит. Да, ненавидят. Но никогда не хотел, чтобы ты умер. Твой отец и он были в том же классе в школе. И еще он сказал, ну я слышал, как ты плакал недавно. Ну да. Он услышал ноты беспокойства в голосе Квилла. Мой этот хозяин, можно сказать, такой великий волшебник, а я нет. Sometimes, he said, I find it hard to follow my master's instructions. He's a great wizard, and I'm weak. You mean he was there in the classroom with you? Harry gasped. He's with me wherever I go, said Quirrell quietly. I met him when I travelled around the world. Foolish young man I was then, full of ridiculous ideas about good and evil. Lord Voldemort showed me how wrong I was. There's no good and evil. There is only power. And those too weak to see it since then. Since then, I served him faithfully, although I have let him down many times. He has had to be very hard on me, Quirrell shivered suddenly. He does not forgive mistakes easily. When I failed to steal the stone from Gringotts, he was most displeased. He punished me, decided he would have to keep a closer watch on me. Quirrell's voice trailed away. Harry was remembering his trip to Diagon Alley. How could he have been so stupid? He'd seen Quirrell there that very day, shaken hands with him in the leaky cauldron. Quirrell cursed under his breath. I don't understand. Is the stone inside the mirror? Should I break it? Harry's mind was racing. What I want more than anything else is in the world at the moment, he thought, is to find the stone before Quirrell does. So if I look into the mirror, I should see myself finding it, which means I'll see where it is hidden. But how can I look without Quirrell realizing what I'm up to? He tried to edge to the left to get in front of the glass without Quirrell noticing, but the ropes around his ankles were too tight. He tripped and fell over. Quirrell ignored him. He was still talking to himself. What does this mirror do? How does it work? Help me, master. And to Harry's horror, a voice answered. Boyd's он говорит, и они стали говорить про Волдеморта, и Quirrell говорит, ой, мой хозяин везде со мной. Гарри не может понять, то есть везде. А потом говорит, но он до меня сердится, если я не так делаю. Например, когда я попытался украсть камень еще из Гринготта и не смог, мой хозяин на меня рассердился. И Гарри вдруг вспомнил и очень рассердился на себя. Как он мог не сообразить? И он не может понять, Quirrell не может понять, как понять с этим зеркалом, где камень. И вот он говорит, что это зеркало делает, как оно работает, помоги мне, хозяин. And to Harry's horror, a voice answered. And the voice seemed to come from Quirrell himself. Use the boy. Use the boy. Quirrell turned around on Harry. Yes, Potter, come here. He clapped his hands once, and the ropes binding Harry fell off. Harry got slowly to his feet. Come here, Quirrell repeated. Look in the mirror and tell me what you see. Harry walked towards him. I must lie, he thought desperately. I must look and lie about what I see. That's all. Quirrell leaped close behind him. Harry breathed in the funny smell that seemed to come from Quirrell's turban. He closed his eyes, stepped in front of the mirror, and opened them again. He saw his reflection, pale and scared looking at first, but a moment later, the reflection smiled at him. It put his hand into its pocket and pulled out a blood-red stone. It winked and put the stone back in its pocket. And as it did so, Harry felt something heavy drop into his real pocket. Somehow, Incredibly, he'd got the stone. Well, said Harry impatiently, Quirrell impatiently, what do you see? Harry screwed up his courage. I see myself shaking hands with Dumbledore, he invented. I've won the House Cup for Gryffindor. Quirrell cursed again. Get out of the way, he said. As Harry, то есть тут он переходит он как бы уходит, то есть Quirrell такой, ну давай, что ты видишь, а Гарри увидел, что у него в карман падает камень. И Quirrell быстро, он это Quirrell не говорит, он говорит, что он там Дамблдор видит, который рад Гарри. Это неправда, но и потом Quirrell просто его догнал и сказал, ну ладно, отойди, а сам стал смотреть в зеркало. Так, ничего не видно. Came aside, he felt the thrust of the stone against his leg. Dare he make a break for it? But he hadn't walked 5 paces before a high voice spoke, though Quirrell wasn't moving his lips. He lies. He lies. Potter, come back here, Quirrell shouted. Tell me the truth. What did you just say? The high voice spoke again. Let me speak to him, face to face. Master, you're not strong enough. I have strength enough for this. Harry felt as if the devil's snare was rooting him to the spot. He couldn't move a muscle. Petrified, he watched as Quirrell reached up and began to unwrap his turban. What was he going on? The turban fell away. Quirrell's head looked strangely small without it, but he turned slowly on the spot. Harry would have screamed, but he couldn't make a sound. Where there should have been the back of Quirrell's head, there was a face. The most terrible face Harry had ever seen. It was chalk white, with glaring red eyes and slits for nostrils, like a snake. Harry Potter, it whispered. Harry tried to take a step backwards, but his legs wouldn't move. See what I have become, the voice said. Mere shadow and vapor. I have form when I can share another's body, but there have always been those willing to let me into their hearts and minds. Unicorn blood has strengthened me these past weeks. You saw faithful Quirrell drinking it for me in the forest, and once I have the elixir of life, I will be able to create a body of my own. Now, why don't you just give me the stone in your pocket? So he knew. The feeling suddenly surged back into Harry's legs. He stumbled backwards. Тут опять появился голос, говорит, да не сам поговорит с мальчиком. Ну, Quirrell разворачивается табель, и они видят устрашающее лицо. Вот такое. И Quirrell и уже не Quirrell, а вот это странное лицо начинает говорить с ним и говорит ему, что ой, отдай мне камень в твоем кармане. Ты видел, если я получу этот камень, то я стану сильным. Don't be a fool, snarled the face. Better save your own life and join me, or we'll meet the same end as your parents. They died, begging me for mercy. Liar! Harry shouted suddenly. Quirrell was walking backwards at him, so that Voldemort could still see him. The evil face was now smiling. How touching, it hissed. I always valued bravery. Yes, boy, your parents were brave. I killed your father first, and and he put up a courageous fight. But your mother needn't have died. She was trying to protect you. Now give me that stone, unless you want to have died in vain. Never! Harry sprang toward the flame door, but Voldemort squeezed. Seize him! And next second, Harry felt Quirrell's hand close on his wrist. At once, a needle-sharp pain seared across Harry's scar. His heart felt as though it was about to split into two. He yelped, struggling with all his might, and to his surprise, Quirrell let go of him. The pain in his head lessened. He looked around wildly to see where Quirrell had gone and saw him. То есть Волдеморт такой: отдай мне камень, и все будет хорошо. Ты же не хочешь, чтобы твоя мама умерла просто так, потому что мама умерла, чтобы его спасти. Ну вот. И Гарри такой: нет, никогда. И пытался убежать, но Quirrell его схватил. И Гарри стало очень больно в голову. И потом Quirrell его схватил, а потом отпустил. И Гарри не понимает, почему. И Гарри увидел его. Hunched in pain, looking at his fingers, they were blistered before his eyes. То есть у него пальцы какой-то, как что-то странное происходит с его пальцами, как красными становятся. Seize him! Seize him! Shrieked Voldemort again, and Quirrell lunged, knocking Harry clean off his feet, landing on top of him, both hands around Harry's neck. Harry's ear was always blinding him with pain, yet he could see Quirrell howling in agony. Master, I cannot hold him. My hands! My hands! Quirrell, though pinning Harry to the ground with his knees, let go of his neck and stared bewildered at his own palms. Harry could see they looked burnt, ooh, red and shiny. Then kill him, fool, and be done, screeched Voldemort. Quirrell raised his hands to perform a deadly curse. But Harry, by instinct, reached up and grabbed Quirrell's face. Ah! Quirrell rolled off him, his face blistering too, and then Harry knew Quirrell couldn't touch his bare skin, not without suffering terrible pain. His only chance was to keep hold of Quirrell, keep him in enough pain to stop him doing the curse. Harry jumped to his feet, caught Quirrell by the arm and hung on as tight as he could. Quirrell screamed and tried to throw Harry off. The pain in Harry's head was building. He couldn't see. He could only hear Quirrell's terrible shrieks. And another voice. And Voldemort yelled, kill him, kill him. And another voice, maybe in Harry's own head, crying, Harry, Harry. He felt Quirrell's arm wrenched from his grasp, knew all was lost, and fell into a blackness, down, down, down. Значит, он каждый раз трогает Quirrell, у Quirrell становится ужасно больно. Гарри это видит. И он понял, что единственный способ, чтобы остановить Quirrell, чтобы он не сделал какое-то плохое колдовство, это трогать его. И поэтому он трогал Quirrell, держал. И потом Гарри подумал, что почувствовал, как его рука отпускает Quirrell, и понял, что все потеряно. Something gold was glinting just above him. A snitch. Harry should catch it, but his arms were too heavy. He blinked. Of course, it wasn't a snitch at all. It was a pair of glasses. How strange. He blinked again. Smiling face of Albus Dumbledore swam into view above him. Good afternoon, Harry, said Dumbledore. Harry stared at him. Then he remembered. Sir, the stone, it was Quirrell. He got the stone, sir, quick. Calm yourself, dear boy. You're a little behind the times, said Dumbledore. Quirrell does not have the stone. But who does? Sir, Harry, please relax, or Madame Pomfrey will have me thrown out. Harry swallowed and looked around. He realized he must be in hospital wing. He was lying in a bed with white linen sheets, and next to him was a table piled high The village would look like half a sweet shop. Tokens from your friends and admirers, said Dumbledore, beaming. What happened down in the dungeons between you and Professor Quirrell? Between you and Professor Quirrell is a complete secret. So naturally, the whole school knows. I believe your friends, Mr. Fred and George, were responsible for trying to send you a laboratory seat. No doubt they thought it would amuse you. Madame Profay, forever, felt it might not be very hygienic and confiscated it. Горячно все видят Дамблдора. Он закричал: ладно, быстро, Quirrell, все. Но Дамблдор его успокоил, сказал, что все нормально. И вдруг Гарри увидел кучу всяких конфет, как полмагазина. И Дамблдор объяснил, что это от его поклонников. И он сказал, что Фред и Джордж Уизли хотели ему отправить туалетное сиденье, но мадам Помфрей не позволила и отобрала ценную вещь. Stone. I see you enough to be distracted. Very well. The stone. Professor Quirrell did not manage to take it from you. It arrived in time to prevent that. Although you were doing very well on your own, I must say. Did you you got there? You got Hermione's owl? You must have crossed Madame. No sooner had I reached London than it became clear to me that the place I should be was the one I just left. I arrived just in time to pull Quirrell off you. It was you. I feared I might be too late. You nearly were. I couldn't have kept him off the stone much longer. Not the stone, boy. The effort involved nearly killing you. For one terrible moment there, I was afraid it had. As for the stone, it has been destroyed. Destroyed? Said Harry blankly. But your friend, Nicholas Flamel. Oh yes, you know about Nicholas, said Dumbledore, sounding quite delighted. You did do the thing properly, didn't you? Well, Nicholas and I have had a little chat and agreed. It is all for the best. That means he and his wife die, won't they? They have enough elixir stored to set their affairs in order, and then, yes, they will die. Dumbledore smiled, a look of amazement in Harry's face. To one as young as you, I'm sure it seems incredible, but to Nicholas and Perenelle, it really is like going to bed after a very, very long day. After all, to the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. You know, the stone is really not such a wonderful thing. As much money in this life as you could want. The two things most human beings would choose above all. The trouble is, humans do have enough of choosing precisely those things. Which of us for them? То есть, когда Дамблдор объяснил Гарри, что камень волшебный разрушен, а Гарри не понимает, ну тогда твой друг умер. Да, но у них есть еще эликсир, и они могут все в порядок, все, что у них было, организовать, а потом, да, они умрут. Но для них это нормально, потому что они так долго жили, и для них это просто следующее длинное путешествие. И что вообще-то камень был не самой хорошей вещью, потому что это те вещи, которые человек больше всего любит. А у людей такая вещь, что они обычно выбирают то, что для них не очень хорошо. Например, конфеты. Harry lay there, lost for words. Dumbledore hummed a little and smiled at the ceiling. Sir, said Harry, I was thinking, sir, if the stone gone, you know who? Call him Voldemort. Harry, always use a proper name for things. Fear of the name increases fear of things itself. Yes, well, Voldemort's going to try and get the stone again. то есть тут Гарри начинает спрашивать вопрос про Волдеморта и говорит, ты знаешь кто, но Дамблдор говорит, нет, используй правильное имя для вещей, иначе боишься их сильнее. Вот так. Гарри спрашивает, но Волдеморт постарается вернуться же, когда он говорит, да. То есть он не пропал, Гарри спрашивает Дамблдора, но Волдеморт же не пропал, он постарается еще вернуться. И вот ответ Дамблдора. No, Harry, he was not. He's still out there somewhere, perhaps looking for another body to share. Just being truly alive, he cannot be killed. He left Quirrell to die. He shows us just as little mercy to his followers as his enemies. Nevertheless, Harry, while you may only have delayed his return to power, it will take someone else who is prepared to fight what seems a losing battle next time, as if he is delayed again and again. Why? He may never return to power. Harry nodded, but stopped quickly because it made his head hurt. Then he said, Sir, there are some other things I'd like to know. You can tell me about things I want to know the truth about. The truth, sighed Dumbledore, is a beautiful and terrible thing, and should therefore be treated with great caution. However, I shall answer your questions, unless I have a very good reason not to, in which case I beg you to forgive me. I shall not, of course, lie. Well, Voldemort said they only killed my mother because she tried to stop him killing me. But why would he want to kill me in the first place? Dumbledore sighed very deeply this time. Alas, the first thing you ask me, I cannot tell you. Not today, not now. You will know, one day. Put it from your mind for now, Harry. When you're older, I know you hate to hear this. When you're ready, you will know. And Harry knew you would be no good to argue. But why couldn't Quirrell touch me? Your mother died to save you. If there is one thing Voldemort cannot understand, it is love. You didn't realize that love as powerful as your mother's for you leaves its own mark, not a scar, no visible sign. To have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved is gone, will give us some protection forever. It is in you, your very skin. Quirrell, full of hatred, greed, and ambition, sharing his soul with Voldemort, could not touch you for this reason. It was agony to touch a person marked by something so good. Гарри говорит, ответь мне на этот вопрос. Почему Волдеморт сказал, что моя мама умерла, чтобы спасти меня? Ведь почему он хотел меня убить вообще? И там говорит, первый вопрос, который ты мне задаешь, тот, на который я тебе не отвечу. Ну вот, и Гарри спрашивает следующий вопрос, а почему Quirrell не мог до меня дотронуться? И Дамблдор отвечает, что его мама, не Quirrell, а Гарри, оставила на Гарри такой как бы отпечаток любви. А Quirrell злобный и недобрый не мог дотронуться до того, чего-то такого чистого и доброго. И поэтому он не мог дотронуться до Гарри. Ладно, мы не успели сегодня обсудить, извините, но я хочу просто читать эту книжку. Наверное, в следующий раз я дочитаю. Домашнее задание, как обычно, делайте как хотите. Можно что-то связанное с Гарри Поттером или английским языком. Ладно, сегодня все, пока.
Пока.